This video will demonstrate how to install the Renovo Digiwatts 5 kilowatt inverter. These inverters will be used in residential and small commercial installations. For any questions regarding the installation, always refer to the installation guide. When unpacking the inverter, inspect the shipping box for apparent damage, such as holes, tears, or any other signs of possible damage to its contents. If the inspection reveals damage to the inverter, call your supplier or authorized dealer. They will determine if the equipment should be returned for repair and provide instructions to process if required. It is the customer's responsibility to file a claim with the carrier. Failure to file a claim with the carrier may void all warranty service rights for any damage. Choose an installation location out of direct sunlight, away from sources of heat, and where air can circulate easily. The inverter is designed for indoor and outdoor use, but try to avoid areas where it would be exposed to rain or other sources of water directly. Mount the inverter according to the minimum clearance dimensions outlined in the installation guide. If the inverter is mounted outdoors, make sure it is mounted vertically, not at an angle. For installations with multiple inverters, avoid mounting one inverter above another. That way, the heat given off from one inverter will not overheat the other. Drill holes for the support bracket according to the spaces in the support bracket. Then mount the support bracket using the provided hardware. Make sure the wall holding the unit will be able to support the 27 kilogram mass of the inverter for the life of the product. Finally, secure the tabs protruding from the bottom of the Digiwatts unit to the bracket using the M6 machine screws and verify that the unit is mounted securely. Next, it's time to wire the connections to the inverter. It is important that you de-energize all energy sources by opening all AC and DC disconnects and breakers. Then, the front cover can be opened by removing the 4 machine screws and disconnecting the 3 unique connections on the front panel. Refer to the installation guide for all cautions, warnings, and proper ratings that must be maintained. Make sure to always maintain the correct polarity for all connections.
Next, connect the appropriate circuit breakers in the service panel to the AC disconnect and the AC disconnect to the internal panel of the Digiwatts unit through the cable gland or conduit. Connect the AC equipment ground wire to the PE terminal labeled as such within the Digiwatts unit. Connect the 2 AC power lines to the terminals labeled L1 and L2.
Then connect the PV wires to the appropriate number of DC disconnects and the DC disconnects to the internal panel of the Digiwatts unit through the cable glands or conduit. Connect the positive and negative DC wire to the terminal labeled DC positive and DC negative respectively in the Digiwatts unit.
Renovo highly recommends the use of the Watch a Watt module to easily monitor your Digiwatts inverter and PV system performance.
Connect the PV array ground wire to the PE terminal labeled as such in the Digiwatts unit. The front cover can be replaced after reconnecting the 3 connections to the front panel and fastening the 4 machine screws. After all the appropriate connections are made, verify that all the polarities are correct and the connections are secure. Then the inverter can be powered up. Set the DC disconnect to on first, followed by the AC disconnect. Again, if there are any questions about how the connection should be made or about any part of the installation, always refer to the installation guide for confirmation.